Good morning. Hi, this is Michael. We're here with my weekly blog. I just want to give you a little background if this is first time joining me for one of my blogs. I'm a retired veteran. I spent 20 years in the active Army. I spent 9 years in National Guard. I deployed to Desert Storm, Iraq 3 times, Afghanistan, and I spent my 20 years in the Army active duty as a cook. So I had a lot of different experiences with different type units. I was in a tanker unit, I was light infantry unit, I was an MP unit, I was in the artillery unit, and I was in main support battalions, or special troops battalions they call them today. So a lot of different experiences that a lot of MOSs don't get to experience. I got to be around all those guys, you know, and so I have a understanding of how some of those guys work, you know. I want to share with you experiences I had, and to help you in any way that I can understand the transition from the military to outside the military. You know, I won't, you know, a lot of people say to civilian life, you know, I spent too long in the military to say that. You know, like they say, once a soldier, always soldier, or soldier for life, or whatever, you know. But I just do this because it's something that I enjoy doing. I enjoy helping veterans any way that I can, you know. And so if one of my blogs or one of my posts on my page, help the veteran standing in front of you, help somebody, then that's great, you know. That's what I want to do, just reach out to people and just let them know, hey, I'm not alone, you know, and let them know that we're there for them. You know, I know a lot of veterans right now, without the meetings and stuff that we can go to, or that we're used to going to, it's hard for us to reach out. So this is my way of reaching out. So today we're talking about the 4 responses to trauma, you know, ways that you can get in your mind maybe to get around those. Trauma robs you of your sense of well-being, feeling that you are in charge of yourself. The challenge to recovery is reestablishing ownership of your body, mind, and not be overwhelmed, enraged, ashamed, or confused. Find ways to be calm. Focus on learning to maintain calm in response to images, thoughts, smells, sounds that remind you of the past. Find way to be fully alive. How do we respond to trauma? It's flight, freeze, fawn, and you know, I'll give you an example that takes those in. This happened to me not too long after I retired from the military. I was at a high school football game. I was doing the chain gang on the side, helping the high school out, and one of the schools came in. They had one of these small cannons that fire after they score a touchdown. And you know, I went up to them. I said, hey, there's a lot of veterans in the game, because we were right there at Fort Stewart. And you know, I said, I appreciate y'all not firing up there in this game, you know. And there for a while, you know, people, they didn't score, so we didn't fire, and they scored. And I walked over there to ask them again, say, hey, could you not fire the cannon? And they nodded, and I walked away, and I was probably no more than 4 or 5 feet in front of the cannon when it fired, you know. And so I felt the blast wave, you know, through my body. First thing I did was freeze. I just stood there, not sure what to do. And you know, after the shockwave passed through, you know, for people who have been in that situation, they understand how much of a trauma that can be, because your whole body is just rattled. I was gonna go over there and whoop the crap out of them 3 people, and a sheriff's deputy grabbed me and pulled me to her, and she started walking me down the sideline. And you know, so that was my fight. I was gonna fight them. And then the flight, which is flee, was helped there by the deputy, and she walked me down to the very last end of the end zone, you know, away from everybody. And for the next probably 45 seconds to a minute, you know, we talked real quick. She was a combat veteran. She understood exactly what I was going through. So, you know, that was a big help. And then, you know, so I went through all that different responses, trauma, just in a couple minutes. Like I said, with fight, that's self-preservation at all costs. You're gonna fight through the trauma, through the relapses in memory and stuff. You know, usually it's not the thoughts that trigger trauma; it's an event. You know, so for me, it was the firing of the cannon. You know, so fight is what we want to do. Freeze, you're just stiff, you don't move around and stuff, and so that's another response. When an event happens, you just are like there. You're not, you lose touch with reality. You don't know where you are for a few minutes, and so you know, you have a tough time making decisions during that time because your mind really cannot think. You know, flight, that's when you run away. You know, when you're in an environment where something's gonna maybe trigger a trauma, you know, response to trauma, like cannons. You know, used to, you know, 0630 and 1700, any post in the world firing the cannons because of the colors and retreat. You know, but I knew those were coming and I wasn't standing right in front of them, so there's a difference. But a lot of people run away, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way you deal with it. Fawn, this is when you are dealing with the trauma by pleasing people, by doing everything that you can to push that trauma experience, trauma response back in the back of your mind. You know, people have asked me about things and it will trigger a traumatic memory, traumatic response, and I will just do everything I can with those people to get through it so that I can deal with it after I'm not around them, because I'm not gonna deal with it in front of them. I'm not gonna break down, I'm not gonna freeze, I'm not gonna phone, I'm not gonna any of this. It's about self-protection. With phone, you know, you have to get out of those toxic relationships. You know, the relationships that are reminding you of that trauma, reminding you of that event that you had either as a childhood or as an adult. You have to get out of those. Flight, there's nothing wrong with flight, because but you need to flight to a safer place. You need to find a place that you can be safe and that you can go through your coping skills, and that you can reestablish yourself, ground yourself again. Like I said, freeze usually is one of the shortest ones because of the fact that it only lasts for a few seconds or a few minutes, and you just need to bring those coping skills in, breathing techniques, box breathing, grounding yourself, ways like that. And then fight, of course, that's the one thing that we probably don't do, but we would like to do the most. And whatever fight that you want to do it. You know, I'm not saying that you go out and hit somebody, or that you excuse me, do whatever. What I'm saying is you do whatever fight you need to fight, you know, as far as pushing through something, or talking to yourself, coping skills, telling yourself that you can do this, that you're strong, that you're better than this, and that you can do this regardless of what's going on around you. You know, we talked about, you know, people pushing through things with distractions. You know, fight is sort of like that. You push through the traumatic response to something with the distractions. You don't let them interfere with what you're trying to do. I know for a lot of vets, PTSD, you know, is very real, and it's very much a daily part of their lives. And I understand that a lot of people think that some people can just push through this and get over it. You know, like I explained to a lot of people, is you can have two people who are standing right there, and an IED goes off, and one of our buddies get killed, and this one person just can't get on with his life when he gets back home because of that, and this other person goes on about his life, and it's just a matter of your brain. It's a matter of how your brain processes something. You know, anytime that I'm in a job outside the military and I see things that the normal people who are not military have, you know, anxiety issues or whatever, or get upset or something, or just talk all the time about doing something, never do it. You know, it's the difference between them and me. You know, one, if I talk about it, I'm going to do it, and two, I usually don't talk about too many things that are upsetting to me, because what is upsetting to me is not the overall picture, but it's the little crap that people do every day, like standing around not doing any work until it's time to do work. You know, and so it's hard to do this, but I would encourage you, you know, to reach out to a counselor or something that maybe specializes with veterans as far as the PTSD goes. You know, like I said, I understand the depth of it, and a lot of people just think it's something that we come home from war and we get over it. You know, I shared before about how a person I knew thought the World War II veterans dealt with trauma a lot better than we did. Back then, you know, it was the way it was. You know, people didn't understand war just the same as this, but they got home, they went back to their families, they went back to their jobs they had before the war, they went on with their lives because that's what they knew to do. You know, today with social media and all the other things out there, people share more than they used to. But that doesn't mean that the World War II veterans dealt with PTSD any more than we did. You know, any better than we did. It's just a different society then. You know, now we're more social, we're more out about talking about things, and we're more out about doing things, you know. So, you know, I just want to encourage you to reach out to a counselor. I see a counselor once a week. I talk about everything under the sun with her, you know, and so, you know, it's just a safe place for me to be. Next week, we're going to talk about resilience again. I keep going back to that topic because of the fact that I feel like that is the one thing that has been the strongest thing for me being out of the military, is being resilient. So we'll talk to you next week, and y'all have a good week. Bye.